Hey guys.
Hey.
We recently had a question from somebody within our community tabs, and Timmy asked this question. I would like to see a video about how to start financial freedom in my 30s and after kids, like a never too late video. So today, we want to share with you exactly how to start your own financial independence journey and create your own personalized financial independence plan.
Yep. So today's video is really going to apply to pretty much anybody, whether you are in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and beyond. But more specifically, it will apply to anyone who feels that is starting this journey towards financial independence a bit late, and so therefore this feels a lot more urgent for their own personal situation. We've identified 9 unique steps that you need to follow step by step all the way towards creating your own personalized plan for financial independence. We are going to be sharing specifically from our flagship program known as FIRE Superpower. And within that program, we are going to take 2 things per step and share them so that you can take them away and begin to build what your own personalized plan could look like for financial independence. And if you want to know more about that program and just research and learn more about it, I'm going to put some links below and above for you to head over and check it out for yourself.
If you like this video, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Come on, show our channel some love. And if you found it super useful, why not share it with somebody who you think it would help along their journey too?
Yep, let's dive in now and explore these ideas for the 9 steps that we believe that you need to take to not only create your personalized plan for financial independence, but to actually practically begin to go on that journey for yourself. Okay, so to make this really fun, Mary and I, when we created this program, basically came up with really fun names for each one of these steps, just to help us remember and help other people remember these very different steps on their journey towards financial independence. We're going to be sharing 2 things specifically from each one. So there are more things to go through per stage, but because to make this video as almost succinct as possible, we're going to share only 2 things to go ahead. So the first stage is the stage of dare. So this is where you're daring to go from fear to independence. And the first thing to do at this stage is to get your heart right for financial independence. What we mean here specifically is, what is your core motivation and what is your why? This is really what underpins a lot of what will become quite a long journey ahead as you work towards your own version of financial independence, perhaps by yourself, as well as with your partner if you've got one.
Okay, so this is all around how to get your partner on board and also how to communicate your journey with your family and your friends. So for example, this could involve you including a third party to talk about, money goals and desires with your partner.
Practically for us, when we did this ourselves, we did this via our own church. So our church had recommended that we speak to somebody who would speak to us about money and what we thought about money and what our values were and things like that, to make sure that Mary and I were both on the same page when it came to what we saw as our goals financially and why it really mattered to us.
That's right.
You could also do this via a financial coach, for example, or somebody who you maybe find inspiring, who is perhaps ahead on the journey towards financial independence and you want to learn from them. They could act as that third party that Mary mentioned to perhaps help you and your partner if you've got one.
Okay guys, so step 2 is what we call the seek stage, and this is where we learn the key foundations.
That's right, and the first thing you want to think about here are the 5 keys for building wealth, okay? What we talk about here really are assets, understanding assets, liabilities, income, expenses, and cash flow. All those 5 areas are connected to each other, are absolutely critical in your understanding in order to be able to help you use the income and expenses in your life to create a buffer, and for that buffer to flow into helping you create assets and pay down liabilities.
Okay, so the second thing is the power of compounding and the rule of 72 for doubling your money. Okay guys, so here you need to understand how compounded interest works and how your money is doubled depending on your rate of return from your investments. For example, according to the rule of 72, a 7% return means that your money will double in 10.2 years. i.e. 72 divided by 7 equals 10.2. And this is very important for you to be able to know how your money would work for you. And this is very important important as you start to imagine how to put your money to work.
So step 3 is what we refer to as the embrace stage, which is where you understand where you are. Okay, and the first thing to really understand here at this stage is, what is your financial joy state? This is something that we came up with ourselves. The financial joy state is the state of your financial lives beyond money itself. Okay, so it covers various categories, and we'll read out some of them so you can kind of understand what we're looking at here. So you're looking first at understanding today from the perspective of how are you tracking your expenses and income, how are you budgeting consistently, how are you tracking your net worth. Things like that are the bread and butter that we typically talk about here on this channel. But it goes beyond that, because next we're talking about dealing with storms. How are you preparing for emergencies? How much insurance do you have in your life? Have you done any form of estate planning? Have you written a will? Stuff like that will come under dealing with storms. Next, you're talking about dreams for the future. In addition to that, thinking about other people as you proceed on this journey towards financial independence, because it is a long-term goal. And then finally, work, life, and what we refer to as joy balance, because this is not just about putting money away and investing. You also need to have good balance in making sure that you are having fun and that this journey is enjoyable, because you know that it's not just about the destination that you get into, but also who you are becoming along that journey. So your financial joy state is essentially a score that you set yourself after scoring yourself across those categories, kind of see where you are and understand what that financial joy state looks like at this very moment in time.
So the second thing to consider is how to calculate and grow your net worth. This is one of the key metrics to calculate and track each month on your FI journey. And as the saying goes, what gets measured gets improved.
What's also important when you think about your net worth is think about what the makeup of that net worth is. So what proportion of liquid assets do you have in your net worth? Things such as your investments in your stocks and shares ISA that you can access quite easily, compared to illiquid assets that you might have on your net worth, such as your investment into property or investments into your pension, which you can't access until retirement, for example. Now, step 4 is the dream phase, which is all about setting short-term and long-term goals.
That's right. So the first thing to consider here is, what is your financial freedom number, i.e. how much is enough for you? So a rough calculation is 25 times your annual expenses, or dividing your annual expenses by 4%. But to be prudent, aim for something between 3% and 4%.
So the second thing to consider here is, when can you retire and what is the gap that you need to fill? So you already know what your freedom number is, as Mary mentioned. Question then becomes, you understand where you are now and you understand where you're trying to get to. What is the gap in between that you need to fill? That gap you need to fill will be driven by a number of inputs. Say, for example, if you know that that number is, say, £500,000, question is how much money do you need to start investing every single month from now on? At what assumed rate of return, a realistic rate of return after taking into consideration fees and inflation? And on top of that, over what period of time are you going to be investing that money in order to then fill that gap? Again, as mentioned, this bit can get quite complicated. We've got various workbooks, spreadsheets, and various things like that, videos, and all of that kind of stuff within the program itself. So if you're really interested in that sort of stuff, going deeper into it, feel free to check it out in the links below and take a deeper dive for yourself.
Step 5 is design. And this is where you plan your routes.
That's right.
So point number 1 is the 5 paths to financial independence. So there are multiple paths to financial independence, but we currently focus on 5 of them. Stock market investing, property investing, creating an online business, career maximization, and becoming 100% debt-free and mortgage-free. So the point here is that you need to design your route by choosing a path that works for you.
All right, so the second thing to think about here is what we call your personal financial independence plan. This is a commitment document. It's a simple PDF workbook where you are basically almost signing and saying, we are going on this FI journey together. Here's what our FI number is. Here's why it matters to us. Yeah. Here's all the things we've been thinking about. Here's what our strategy is about. Here's what the pathways we're going to follow. All the things that we've been talking about so far are then documented and written down, because if you don't write it down, it means nothing. That document will be very important as a communication tool, particularly if you are in a relationship. It will help you be able to remember why you're going on this journey, because the road ahead can be tough. Let's be real, right? So you come back to that document and can reflect on it. And it's almost like a good thing that you can fall back on, when you kind of feel like, why on earth are we doing what we're doing?
Yeah.
You can fall back on that document and talk about it. So the personal financial independence plan at this stage is something you need to absolutely have in place and begin to take practical leaps towards your own financial independence journey. Step number 6 is what we call the spark stage, which is all about developing your mindset. This is so important for the journey. And the first thing to consider here are the 7 qualities you need for achieving financial independence. I'm just going to share 2 of them. And the first one to share is the need to focus. You must have heard the acronym. FOCUS stands for follow one course until success. So many people are looking for many shiny objects. They're looking for get rich quick schemes. They're looking for various ways to achieve their goals a lot faster. When in actual fact, a lot of people end up making a lot of mistakes because they just do not focus on a tried and tested and solid strategy. And the second quality to mention is the quality of perseverance. Things will not happen overnight. You will not have promotions in your job overnight. Your side hustle will not become a success overnight. Your investments will not compound overnight, but over time, with perseverance and that patience, you will start to see wealth actually being built because of that core quality of perseverance on your journey towards financial independence.
So the second point to consider is how to develop a winning attitude. You develop a winning attitude when you start to focus on the things that are going on well in your life instead of dwelling on the things that are not going so well for you. So 1, you become your thoughts. If you develop a positive attitude, you create positivity around you.
So important.
Yeah. Point number 2 is, make no excuses. Just get on with it. Just do it.
Just do it. Stage 7 we call the move stage. We've been learning so much along the journey so far. It's time to take action and choose your vehicle. What to focus on here is to begin implementing the strategies you would have looked at the previous stages that we've been talking about. So pick one, for example, being the stock market. Choosing your vehicle could mean picking a passive investing strategy as a key thing to focus on. This is where we look at things such as you investing in index funds, on ETFs, the various things that we've talked about here on this channel across our investing playlist on various videos.
So the second point to consider is how to build a simple global portfolio. It is important that you create a simple global portfolio without a local bias. This is important because it gives you the opportunity to earn returns outside of the UK, and it's also important for diversification. So we did an introductory video on this, which you can check on the links below and above.
Okay, so step number 8 is the leap stage. So here you are setting off on your journey now. So previously you chose your vehicle to help you begin that journey. Now you are really starting to take off.
So the first thing to consider here is to start making your investments and automating them. So enough learning, time to actually start investing your money. Choose your platform, open up an ISA and automate your investments.
The second thing to consider here, and this is a unique advantage, is to explore a passive income idea. This is where you start to play the game very differently. Okay, you're now relying on ideas beyond just your day job as a way for you to accelerate your journey towards financial independence.
Okay guys, step 9 is to thrive. And this is what we call enjoying the process. So number 1 is about having fun and the optimal freedom lifestyle. It's important to have fun as you build wealth because it can get very boring, but it's also important to optimize for a simple lifestyle.
The other thing we wanted to share here is the importance of fast tracking your journey towards financial independence through personal development. Okay, this has been instrumental on our personal journey. Here I'm talking about everything from reading the right books, getting coaching from the right people, joining masterminds, hanging around with people of a similar mindset, attending events, anything that essentially means that you are actually growing as a person. Because it's only by growing as a person that you see huge changes in your career, in the profitability of your online business, in your investments getting better because you've learned how to invest your money better and grown in confidence, and so on.
Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button.
Do you currently feel like you are starting this journey towards financial independence a lot later than normal or a lot later than a lot of people? We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let us know what your concerns are. We're going to be in there to answer your questions, so do make sure you jump in there and ask us, and we'll be more than happy to share our own personal experiences to help you move forward and take that leap successfully.
Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. And as ever, in all things, be thankful and seek joy. Take care.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.